the city where the old stone shadows fall, you'll find a group of friendly faces sharing stories with us all. They welcome locals, welcome family, showing where the Stewarts stood, bringing history to the present in a way that feels understood. They explain the castle's battles, how the towers shape the land, why the walls are worn and weathered, and the meaning where we stand. There's no armor on their shoulders, no patrols along the way, just a passion for the stories they're proud to pass on every day. Oh, the Friends of Crookston Castle, teaching tales of days gone by.
Alternative Friends night. It's alternative for lots of reasons, one of which it's the wrong night, so but it's more an excuse to celebrate lots of things. We're celebrating Burns, but we're also celebrating the castle, and we're celebrating the phenomenally talented community in Brighton. So got a little bit of housekeeping first of all before we start. It's a castle, it's very dark, it's uneven underfoot. If anyone wants to get up and dance, that's absolutely fine. Please don't fall over because I'm also the first aider. We have got a toilet, which you'll have passed on your left hand side as you come up the hill. There's no light in it, so please don't wait till you're bursting. It's down the hill, it's muddy, and it's going to be dark, so you can go in pairs. Take a light with you. Yeah, bloody up. Finally, we're not expecting any fire alarms. So, we've got a lot to get through, so I'm going to start. Our first act is, I think, fair to say, a household name round the world. Quite a coup to get them here today. Someone who actually has got links to the castle, first visited here in 1777, carved his name into a tree, and heard that we were having an event tonight and decided to come along. So could you welcome Mr. Robert Burns?
Thank you very much, everyone. As you heard mentioned there, first visited this castle in 1777. It's not looking too bad in the time since, and I have to say, nor am I, for 250 years odd ago. Welcome to this wonderful monument of Glasgow, and I have to say I was very impressed the first time that I visited Crookston Castle, and as you heard mentioned there, I actually carved my name into one of the trees in the grounds. And in fact, I was moved by this castle because of its connection with another very important figure of Scottish culture, aside from myself, and that is of course Mary Queen of Scots, who's said to have visited this castle. In fact, when I visited, I was told about the long-standing tradition that Queen Mary had watched the Battle of Langside from the roof of this castle. Now, if you actually visit up there today, it is just a story because you can't actually see Langside from the castle. The topography doesn't allow for it. But as any poet in the world will tell you, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. And it inspired me to write a poem about Mary and the tragedy that was Mary Queen of Scots' life, and obviously how she came to a sad end in Forbury Castle in 1587 on the executioner's chopping block. And that poem is known as The Lament of Mary Queen of Scots on the Approach of Spring. And it's essentially my attempt to understand how Mary must have felt as she languished in captivity for the better part of 20 years, and as she watched the seasons roll into one another and the years move past. And it goes thusly. Now nature hangs her mantle green on every blooming tree, and spreads her sheets of daisies white out over the grassy lea. Now Phoebus cheers the crystal streams and glads the azure skies, but naught can glad the weary wight that fast endurance lies. Now lavrocks wake the merry morn aloft on dewy wing. The merlin in his noontide bower makes woodland echoes ring. The mavis wild with mony a note sings drowsy day to rest. In love and freedom they rejoiced, when care nor thrall oppressed. Now blooms the lily by the bank, the primrose down the brae. The hawthorn's budding in the glen, and milk white is the sleigh. The meanest hind in fair Scotland may rove their sweets amang, but I, the Queen of all Scotland, man lie in prison sprang. I was the Queen of bonny France, where happy I hae been. Full lightly rise I in the morn, as blithely doon at e'en. And I'm the sovereign of Scotland, and mony a traitor there. Yet here I lie in foreign bands, in never-ending care. But as for thee, thou false woman, my sister and my fay, grim vengeance yet shall whet a sword that through thy soul shall gae. The weeping blood in woman's breast was never known to thee, nor the balms it draps on wounds of woe, frae woman's pity and ee. My son, may kinder stars upon thy fortune shine, and may those pleasures gild thy reign that ne'er would bloom in mine. God keep thee frae thy mother's face, or turn their hearts to thee, and where thou meetest thy mother's friend, remember him for me. Nae mair to me may summer suns light up the morn, O soon to me may mair the autumn winds wave o'er the yellow corn, and in the narrow house of death let winter round me rave, and let the flush flowers that deck the spring bloom on my peaceful grave.
He's mainly a solo performer, but is well known for giving his talents and skills to support other acts. He's delighted to be back here on home turf, so welcome Cameron Garden.
Mind if I keep my jacket on? I used to stay down in Leafland Road, and past this place all the time. I've been there a couple of times, but I've been playing for nearly 50 years now, and this is the oldest gig I've ever played in. And I hope you do it again, because it's a real thrill. So, hold on. Is that better? Is that my Scottish look? Here's a wee song here. Robert Burns wrote it, and it's about a pal of his, a son, who's a fiddle player, but his wife sort of is urging him to sell the fiddle to buy booze, which was, it reminds me when I used to listen to podcasts. Rattling, roaring, Wally, he helped to the fair. Thought they sell his fiddle and buy some other wares. But then made his fiddle a sort of limp as he. Rattling, roaring, Wally, you're welcome to. Oh, Wally, come sell your fiddle and mine. Come and sell your fiddle and buy a pint of wine. If I was to sell my fiddle, no one would think I was mad. Money's the rattling day, the fiddle and I had. Aside from mine from on I can't really keep it then. Rattling, roaring, Wally was sitting along the lane, I'm in good company. Rattling, roaring, Wally, you're welcome in too. Next one is the bums one. Armageddon. Now, here's a D chord on the guitar. But here's the Scottish version of that chord. You know? So song about the big healing man. This song's actually older than this castle. 10,000 Roman soldiers came marching to the north. They had conquered millions with a Tiber to the fore. They landed by Loch Lomond. The night they thought they'd lie would be somewhere near the Cobbler Hill. They heard, somewhere near they heard this terrible cry. Griggalai, griggaloo, come up and fight your cowardly crew. I'll have ye for my pot of stew. You're here to fight with me. On top stood a great big healing man with a kilt and a big claymore. He looked a bit ferocious, so Caesar sent up 4. And as he sat down to his supper by the bright light of the moon, he lost his taste for vino when 4 heats came rolling. Griggalai, griggaloo, come up and fight your cowardly crew. I'll have ye for my pot of stew. You're here to fight with me. So Caesar sent Mark Antony with another 55. He said, bring that scoundrel's heat to me, and I'll have ye skinned alive. And we heard the clash of metal until the night was done. And he heard this terrible sound with the rising of the sun. Griggalai, griggaloo, come up and fight your cowardly crew. Come for my pot of stew, you fear to fight with me. So Caesar then sent 1,000 this healing man to crack. But out of all that 1,000, there was only one come back. Oh, Caesar, said the soldier, was he all black and blue? That rascal has been fooling us. There's no just one, there's two. Griggalai, griggaloo, come up and fight your cowardly crew. I'll have ye for my pot of stew. You fear to fight with me. So Caesar picked his suitcase up and he ran southwards then. He was doing 60 mile an hour, but he couldn't catch his men. So maybe now you'll wonder why I've told this tale at all. Well, it has a simple moral, and they call it Hadrian's Wall. Griggalai, griggaloo, come up and fight your cowardly crew. I'll have ye for my pot of stew. You fear to fight with me. tailing news. Call them where the heather grows, call them where the bunny rows. My bonny dearie, ghost nor bogle, sharp the fear thou art killer, and heaven say thee nacht all shall come near. My bonny dearie, fair and lovely as thou art, thou hast won my very heart. I can leave one never part. My bonny dearie, call the owls tailing house, call them where the heather grows, call them where the bunny rows. My bonny dearie.
Next, we've got the Morrison brothers, Finlay and Carol, who live in Glasgow but have got strong family roots in Harris. They, despite their young age, have been performing for years, and Callum last year was featured in a BBC Alba documentary. Finlay has just been accepted to the Royal Conservatoire and is currently working on his first self-penned album. So we're delighted to have him here tonight if you'd like to join us.
How you doing, folks? Good stuff, good stuff. Keep you warm. We'll try and keep you warm with a bit of audience participation a wee bit later on in the set. My name's Finlay and this is my brother Callum. We are two Gaelic singers and general noise makers from not too far away from here. Well, Bellahouston most of the time, but we've got strong family connections today with Harris, which is where my dad's from. And we've got a few, we've got a mix of songs for you tonight. We've got Gaelic songs, we've got a Burns song, and we've got some other Scottish songs for you as well. So we're going to start off with a song that's actually both in English and Gaelic, and it's called When I Came to Glasgow First. So it's all about the first time that a Highlander came down to the city and his experience on his first ever day here in the city of Glasgow. So here we go. Oh, when I came to Glasgow first, the Machgachich and Gowl, I was like a man adrift, Rimmerl Stolle Howl. The noise, it seemed like thunder, and oftentimes I wished I was Irash and cheat na meown. Fooling me back in the tramway cars was rumbling in my ears. The time he shares the brimmy lawn, my eyes were full of tears. The vehicle around me a rush in my native home. Get through and eager gale me in Glasgow all alone. The Furrany, the Borrany, who met me on my way. The day and nacht the Ford at room, they had too much to say. I can shoot Gary, Eric and Dermot when I clear away. And the Furret and Mach and Jenga, my nasty things to say. Oceans through with my matters and my temper it got wild. Time and all gapping at the London banks of life. Worth me cream a ball of you and tossed him round my head. Scared me in and tragedy and they picked him up for dead. and a splendid man was he. The uniquest special bit belonging to part 3. Push du mag niet naar wat is al de vrouw. Ga je te neem to come from me and I will tell you how. Oh, she'd be the Isha, yeah, he'd heard the lights before. Sie runt a jäga dumpa noch who's stood the park for door. Who can machen ja and pretended down to right. Maar a horse she can't on a loch the lowlanders to fight. An animal is me and not him to be in such a fix. A horse day on Shigelg, you have to stop these tricks of all these fans. The general age you practice to them with the stain. A speech of pretty real sass if you do the likes again. Book me kind to Krielga and I went on my way. I am playing on Lash and I'm in Glasgow till this day. Oh, and if you make a fool of how I know my Glasgow well. And grave this mode my higher schnoch I ever more shall dwell. Thank you. Cold weather like this and guitars do not exactly go together, so I'm just going to tune my guitar and Carl will let you find out what this next song is going to be.
So the next song we're going to do is a song that I myself have done with the band. It's a wee set of waltzes that we do, and it consists of Westering Home and Skyboat Song. So two very famous Scots songs that I'm sure you will enjoy. So if Finley's ready, here we go. And it's Westering Home with the song in the air, light in the eye, and it's goodbye to care, laughter, love, and the welcoming there. I'm my heart, my own one. Tell me, O lands in the Orient gay, speak of the riches and joys of Cathay. Aye, but it's grand to be walking each day, to find myself nearer to Isla. And it's Westering Home with the song in the air, light in the eye, and it's goodbye to care, laughter, love, and a welcoming there. I'm my heart, my own one. Where are the folk like the folk of the West, canty and goody and kind to the best? And then I would hear me and then I would rest at him with my head folk and Isla. And it's Westering Home, this song in the air, light in the eye, and it's goodbye to care, laughter, love, and the welcoming there. I'm my heart, my own one. Speak on you bold like a bird on the wing, home with the sailor's cry. Carry the lad that's born to be king, over the sea to sky. Loud the wind howl, loud the waves roar, thunderclaps rend the air. Speed for the shores, baffle our foes, follow they will not dare. Speed body bold like a bird on the wing, on with the sailors cry. Carry the lad that's born to be king, over the sea to sky. Many's a lad fought on that day, well the claymore did wield. When the night came, silently laid, dead on Culloden's fields. Speak body bold like a bird on the wing, over the sailors cry. Carry the lad that's born to be king, over the sea to sky. Speak body bold like a bird on the wing, over the sailors cry. Carry the lad that's
Thank you very much, and thank you for singing along with that. Absolutely magic. So we're now going to do one of our own songs. Me and Callum both play in a band called Kelvin Groove. So I'll give you 3 guesses where that band was formed. And this is a song we do in the band. This is a song that I wrote. It's a Gaelic song called Gashgeechan and Glam, which means Heroes of the Glens. And it's all about the boys of Harris from my dad's generation, and I guess still the ones to this day, who had to leave their homeland behind them to go and find further education and work here in the city of Glasgow. But this song is about them coming home in the summertime and playing football for the local football team up there, Harris FC. So Gashgeechan and Glam, Heroes of the Glens. Jerry and Powdy, Chaniel Fata King Le Chéile. British and Powdy, Son Blian the Eve. Ach Chiline Gashti, O Higen Hale Kish. Es le Gare Green, Poki Shin Fon Hopi. Hashik, Chaniel van de Roein. Ik doe aan kieden naar ik, zie het zal ik aan het voein. Horo jali horo ile, Hanna de guste mishin la kele. Het toki shin van de hobby, dus die Gashgeechan la chance de green. Sen ik jou wat gegeven, toch jullie het een jalletje cool. Is er een je een honing, oh het straatje was het goed. Ach wie valt je kan veel, oh nu is je een schief. Is niet het papisch gejonas, en niet te policiar, oh. Horo jali horo ile, Anna de guste mishin la kele. Es poki shin von hobby, nu is die Gashgeechan la chance green. Kien Holland, oh gemach is hier leeg. De kleine ik jesse ik koen, is gebikach en cheech. Horo ela, horno. Horo ela, horno. Jerry and Powdy, O Chaniel Fata King Le Chéile. British and Powdy, Son Blian the Eve. Ach Chili Gashgeechan, O Higen Hale Kish. Slegane Green, Poki Shin Von Hobby. De guste mishin la kele, het hockey shin van hobby, nu is de Gashgeechan la chance green. Oh, royale royale, Hanna de guste mishin la kele, het hockey shin van hobby, nu is de Gashgeechan la chance green. Oh, royale royale. Hanna de guste mishin la kele, het poki die zien van de hobby. Nu is de kastje als aan de kling. Thank you. And if you want to hear that again, that song is going to be on my debut album, which is due for release at some point in the next 10 years. So keep an eye on it. Well, seeing as it's a Burns evening, it wouldn't be right to come up here and not do a Burns song. So I'm going to do a Burns song for you now, if I can remember the words. We'll see. And it's called Willie Stewart. And Willie Stewart was Burns' best pal. And also, Willie Stewart was my great-great-grandfather. I'm not sure if it was the same Willie Stewart right enough. My great-great-grandfather was a shipbuilder by day and a performer by night. He was a ventriloquist and a musician in the music halls of Glasgow long ago. So yeah, maybe the performance gene skipped a few generations, but it's landed with me and Callum now. So here we go, this is Willie Stewart. You're welcome, Willie Stewart. You're welcome, Willie Stewart. There's made a flower that blooms and make the tops swell and sour. You're welcome, Willie Stewart. You're welcome, Willie Stewart. There's made a flower that blooms and make the tops swell and sour. Come bumpers, I express joy, but we must renew it. The top of hen, we bring the band. You're welcome, Willie Stewart. You're welcome, Willie Stewart. You're welcome, Willie Stewart. There's made a flower that blooms in May, the toss is golden sour. Oh, you're welcome, Willie Stewart. You're welcome, Willie Stewart. There's made a flower that blooms in May, the toss is golden sour. Balls and nature can't renew it. Pride and worth and all the truth will give to Willie Stewart. You're welcome, Willie Stewart. You're welcome, Willie Stewart. Oh, it's made a flower that blooms in May, the soft as wild and stalwart. Oh, you're welcome, Willie Stewart. You're welcome, Willie Stewart. It's made a flower that blooms in May, the soft as wild and stalwart. Thank you very much. So, me and Callum are now going to do a wee sort of push to Bial, which is often likened to sort of Gaelic rapping, but it's more melodic than that. It's like sort of tunes that you'd maybe hear played on a fiddle or a whistle, but put to music. In fact, a lot of people think that it originated the style when the bagpipes were banned in the Highlands and they needed a way of performing their pipe music, so they put it to random, pretty much nonsense words that sometimes tell really funny stories in Gaelic. So this is a set of Gaelic push to Bial for you, starting with a very well-known Gaelic porscht tune, which was covered by Callum Kennedy, called Bracham Mo. So I hope you enjoy. Oh, Bracham Mo, Hanelon, Bracham Mo, the Suin, Bracham Mo, Hanelon, Bracham Mo, the Suin, Bracham Mo, Hanelon, Bracham Mo, the Suin, she Bracham Mo, she Hanelon, she Bracham Mo, the Suin. Bracham Mo, the Suin, Bracham Mo, the Suin, Bracham Mo, the Suin, she Bracham Mo, she Hanelon, she Bracham Mo, the Suin. Oh, Bracham Mo, Hanelon, Bracham Mo, the Suin, Bracham Mo, Hanelon, Bracham Mo, the Suin, Bracham Mo, Hanelon, Bracham Mo, the Suin, she Bracham Mo, she Hanelon, she Bracham Mo, the Suin.
Huggevangarna killen sjöbrahan moen. Huggevangarna killen sjöbrahan moen. Huggevangarna killen sjöbrahan moen. Sprachen om till tanen om till brachen om zoen.
Oh, brachanam, hanalam, brachanam, suin, brachanam, hanalam, brachanam, suin, brachanam, hanalam, brachanam, suin,
Sprachen om till tanen om till brachen om zoen.
oh, yirba, halva, bayrachan, yirba, halva, so yamikishan, yirba, halva, bayrachan, yirba, halva, so yamikishan.
Ma skipperen, ma kjøperen, ringhavas.
When you put 'em on the broad down the balloon,
Ma skipperen, ma kjøperen, ringhavas.
when you put 'em on the broad down the balloon, you're a fire, so the education, you're a fire, so the education.
Hage hammer, hagen hudevekk.
Hage hammer og sier ruben,
Hage hammer, hagen hudevekk.
Hage hammer og sier ruben, meter ta hulen på det, og hun setter vei, meter ta hulen på det, setter vei, meter ta hulen på det, og hun setter vei, meter ta hulen på det, setter vei.
Kan hei hitchelu, kan hei hinu, kan hei hitchelu nanya, de magia. Kan hei hitchelu, kan hei hinu, kan hei hitchelu nanya, de magia.
Yrva, fire, så vi er mitt husen, meter ta hulen på det, efter hun setter vei, meter ta hulen på det, setter vei, og meter ta hulen på det, efter hun setter vei, meter ta hulen på det, setter vei.
Jarl mine midnatt, jarl mine neimen, jarl mine midnatt, grønn nakken eike. Jarl mine råken, jarl mine nare, jarl mine råken, skjene fersen jami.
Meter ta hulen på det, efter hun setter vei, meter ta hulen på det, setter vei. Meter ta hulen på det, efter hun setter vei, meter ta hulen på det, setter vei. Gåvan och hård, i puncha, pichakere, 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 varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen, jo, varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen, varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen, jo, varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen, gåvan och hård, i puncha, pichakere, gåvan och hård, pichakere, gåvan och hård, i puncha, pichakere, gåvan och hård, i puncha, pichakere, varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen, jo, varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen, jo, varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen, jo, varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen. Varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen, jo, varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen, jo, varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen, jo, varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen, varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen, jo, varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen, varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen, jo, varagene, pichakere, sitigene, kalmen. Thank you so much. Right, we've got time for one more now. So we're gonna do a wee song. You might know it. It's called "Walking on the Waves." Anybody know it? You'll soon get to know the words. I'm quite sure it's got a really easy chorus. You can sing along with it, and you can do a bit of clapping along with this one as well. So the chorus goes like this. I'm gonna read on through, and then you can maybe pick up the words. I've been walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side I am walking on the waves. I've been walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side I am walking on the waves. Think you want to give it a go, sing along? Okay, here we go. I'll give you a wee nod when the chorus comes in. An island in the sunlight, laughter in the rain, always be in the darkness, it all feels feels just the same. Watch the sunset over Irish. See the twilight merge the dawn. Hear the waves caress the shoreline as the island carries on. Here we go. I've been walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. I've been walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. There's two lovers on the Macha, and they walk down to the sand. Their silhouettes are on the water as they paddle hand in hand. And it's a game of sweet surrender when there's nothing left to say, and there are moments to remember once these days are gone away. I've been walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. I've been walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. So you look out on the ocean, see the headlands and strands, and you wonder what horizons will shape tomorrow's plans. Through the turning of seasons and the cycle of the days, every day's another reason to let tomorrow sail away. Sing it! I've been walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. I've been walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. The surging of the ocean and the breakers on the shore, the echoes of our bodies to the lover's dream we soar. One more time. I've been walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. I've been walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. I've been walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. I've been walking these shores all my days, but with you by my side, I am walking on the waves. Thank you so much, Crookston Castle. It's been a fantastic evening. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. It's been an absolute pleasure. And what a venue to play. I've never played a venue as unique as this. Thank you so much. See you again soon. Cheers.
Hello again. Hello again.
Hello.
We're getting the idea now. When Robert Burns was living in Turboden, or Turbouden as the locals cry it, the local school teacher there was a man called John Wilson. Excuse me. And in addition to school teaching duties, Wilson had a wee grocery store. to augment his poorly paid income as a school teacher. And in that wee grocery shop he sold medicines and potions and gave free medical advice. And I think in the opinion of Burns and some other locals, he was just taking advantage of the gullible. But then Burns and Wilson were members of the same Masonic Lodge, and at the meeting one day or after the meeting, Wilson was holding court, telling anybody that would listen about his vast medical knowledge. And I was against it, but Burns would have a laugh at this. And on the way home that day, Burns and his brother Gilbert wrote a poem. They didn't write a poem, he composed it. Never written anything down. And the next day, according to Gilbert, they were working in a field together. And Robert recited that poem, literally word for word the way he'd composed it the previous day. It just lets you know what kind of brain the man had. Absolutely amazing. The poem's called Death and Dr. Hornbook. Hornbook being the nickname for the school teacher in these days. The Waynes didn't get using wasting the reams of paper they could get wasting a day. They've got a slate or a board with the alphabet on it, or numbers, some rules of spelling, and the Lord's Prayer. Covered with a thin sheet of shaved horn, hence the name Hornbook, and that was the nickname for the school teachers. So we were Death and Dr. Hornbook. Some books are lees from end to end, and some great lees were never penned. E'en ministers, they been kenned in holy rapture, arousing wit at times to vend, and nailed with scripture. But this that I am going to tell, which lately on a night befell, is just as true as the deals in hell or Dublin City. But ere he nearer comes ourselves a muckle pity. The clacking yell had made me canty. Oh, I wasna fou, but just had plenty. A stack of wiles, but yet took 10 to free the ditches, and hillocks, stains, and bushes kenned I frae ghasts and witches. The rising moon began to glare, the distant Cumnock hills out there. To count her horns with all my power I said myself, but whether she had 3 or 4 I couldn't tell. I was cumbering about the hill and toddling down on Wally's mill, setting my staff with all my skill to keep me sicker. The leeward whiles against my will, I took a bicker. Aye, there was something disforgader that pat me in an eerie swither, and half his sight out our eye shooter clear dangling hang. A 3-tailed leister on the other lay large in line. Its stature seemed like Scotial's twa, the queerest shape that e'er I saw. The faint a wame, it had a vaw, and then its shanks, they were as thin, as sharp and small as cheeks o' branks. Good e'en, quo I. Freen, hae you been mowing, while other folk are busy sawing? They see me tak a kind of stone, but naething spak. At length says I, Freen, where are you going? Will you go back? It spak right how, my name is Death, but being afraid. Quo I, good faith, you'll maybe come to start my breath, but tent me, Billy, I read you weel, see, there's a gully. Good man, quo he, put up your whittle. I'm no designed to try its metal, but if I did, I wouldn't be killed to be misled. I wouldn't mind it, no that spittle over my beard. Oh, weel, says I, a bargain be it. Come, he's your horn and say we're great. We'll ease your shanks and tak a seat. Come, he's your news. This will you be many a gate with many a house. Aye, quo he, and shook his head. It's been a lang time indeed since I began to nick the thread and choke the breath. Folk Monday something further breed, and same on death. 6,000 years or near on fled, since I was tae the butching bread, and many a scheme in vain's been laid to start or score me, till ane Hornbook's ta'en up the trade, and faith, he'll warn me. Ye ken Jock Hornbook, i' the clacking, Joe Mackie's Kings who'd in a splucking. He's grown so well acquaint with Buchan and other chaps. The wains had out their fingers locking and put my hips. See, here's a scythe and there's a dart. They hae pierced many a gallant heart, but Doctor Hornbook wi' his art and cursed skill has made them baith no worth a fart. Damn take they'll kill. 'Twas but ye streen, nae farther gain. I threw a noble throw at een. Wi' less, I'm sure 100 slain, but deal my care, it just played diddle on the bane and did nae mair. Hornbook was by with ready art, and had sae fortified the part, that when I look at Tame a dart, it was sae blunt. Faint hate o' it would have pierced the heart o' a kill run. Even they me canna get attend it, although their face he ne'er had kenned it. Just shite in a kill blade and send it. As soon as he smells it, with their disease and what will mend it, and once he tells it. Then our doctor saws and whittles, all dimensions, shapes and metals, all kinds of boxes, mugs and bottles, he's sure of he. The Latin names as fast he rattles as ABC. Calcis fossils, earths and trees, true salmon in o' the seas, the farina of beans and peas he has in plenty. Aqua fontis, would ye please, he can content ye. For by some new uncommon weapons, Uranus, spiritus or capons, or might horn shavings, filings, scrapings distilled per se, sal alkali o midge-tail clippings and many may. Oh, he's me for Johnny Geddes hole now. Coaye if that day news be true. He's broke off warbler gowns, grousey white and bonny. Nae doubt they'll reeve it with the blue. They'll ruin Johnny. The creature grained in Eldridge Loch and says ye needna yoke the look. Kirk Ayers will soon be tilled and uptag ye nae fear. They'll all be trenched with many a shock in 2-3 year. Or I killed Dane, a fair stray death, be loss of blood or want of breath. This night I'm free to tag my eighth, that Hornbook's skill will clad a score of their best claith. An honest lobster to his trade, whose wife's 2 eaves were scarce meal bread, but tuppence worth to mend her head when it was served. The wife's laid canny to her bed in their spike mare. A country laird to tame the bats, or some curmurrin in his guts. His only son for Hornbook sets, it pays him well. The lad for 2 good gimmer pets was laird himself. That's just a swatch of Hornbook's way. Thus goes he on from day to day. Thus does he poison, kill and slay and's weel paid for it. Yet robs me all my lawful pay with his damned up. But hark, I'll tell you a plot. Well, dinna you be speaking of it. I'll nail the self-conceited sot, his deeds I heard. This time we meet, I'll wad a groat he gets his firm. But just as he began to tell, the old Kirkhammer struck the bell. A wee short hour ayont the 12, which raised us baith. I took the way that pleased myself, and sae did death. Thank you.
This is the perfect, just absolutely frozen. Okay, I'll say a few words first of all. Thank you all very, very much for coming tonight to the beautiful castle, and it's actually quite heartwarming. I've had a wee tear now when I heard the crowd with the bagpipes and everything else. It's just been fantastic. So even though we're celebrating Burns' life tonight, some of our songs are not quite Burns, they're a wee bit more modern, but they're celebrating what Burns is most famous for, and that is, well, apart from politics, but love, whether that love be love of a woman or love for mankind. So that's really what we're celebrating. So the first song we're going to be doing is called Killing the Blues by Rolly Sally. It was written in 1970s, yes it was. And again, you know, keeping the theme of Burns and lost love and romantic angst. This is what the song's about. So. What?
Just waiting on the organ.
Also got a runny nose again.
So you've got loud.
Leaves are falling just like embers.
In colors red and gold, they set us on fire, burning just like a moonbeam in our eyes. Somebody said they saw me swinging the world by the tail, bouncing over a white cloud, killing the blues.
Now I'm guilty of something.
I hope you never do, because there is nothing sadder than losing yourself in love. Somebody said they saw me swinging the world by the tail, bouncing over a white cloud, killing the blues.
Now you ask me just to leave you.
To go out on my own and get what I need to. You want me to find what I already have. Somebody said they saw me swinging the world by the tail, bouncing over a white cloud,
this song, and if you know, I'm sure you do, if you know the chorus, please join in, because this is what tonight's all about, community, so please join in. I think you're ready to go.
There's not a kid on every horn, in every room that passes on. Sing the praise the way home on, if there's word if find the lost and home. King roll the rushes, oh please join in, you know. King roll the rushes, oh the strangers tours, the dead eyes spent, they were spent among the lasses, oh. The worldly race the wretches chase, and when she said they find them all, and now at last they catch them fast, their hearts and know them join them. Oh, king roll the rushes, oh, king roll the rushes, oh. I just could hear you going around.
Thank you so much. You're very kind and very patient. So the next song is actually, well, not a Burns song, but Eddie Reader is well known for singing this song. This was a song that was written by John Douglas, Eddie Reader's now husband. At this point, I think he was a boyfriend. She was living in London apparently, and professionally and personally not particularly happy, shall we say. And he wrote this song called Wild Mountainside to entice her back to Scotland. And it did the trick, thank goodness, because we now have the wonderful Eddie Reader among us. So here we go, Wild Mountainside.
Yes.
Beauty is within grasp. Here they hide and call. The last mile is upon us. I'll carry you if you fall. know the arm is heavy now, I know the heart is tired. It's beautiful just over the wild mountainside. Snow is falling all over, out of clear blue skies. Crow is flying high over. You and I are going to wander high up where the air is red, the wild horses ride. It's beautiful, let's go over the wild mountainside. Wild and free we roam, only your mind to go. Wild and free we roam, only your mind to go. Beauty is within grasp, hear the highlands call. The last mile is upon us, I'll carry you if you fall. I know the arm is heavy now, I know the heart inside. It's beautiful, let's go over the wild mountainside. It's beautiful, just roaming the wild The next song is one of my favourites personally. It's not actually a song, it's a poem that Robert Burns wrote. And again, about love and enduring love and getting all together and having all your arguments and still managing to get along. And then you get to our age and they've made hair and we've got fat and but never mind. So anyway, this is a song called John Anderson, My Joe. Say that again. You can see we all got along very well. Anyway, okay. John Anderson, my Joe John, when we were first acquainted, your looks were like the raven, your bonny brow was brent, but now your brow is bell, John, and your locks are like the snow, but blessings on your frosty pow. John Anderson, my Joe, John Anderson, my Joe. John Anderson, my Joe, John, we'll climb the hill together, and money's a canty day, John, we had we one another. Now we mun totter down, John, and it's hand in hand we'll go to sleep together at the foot. John Anderson, my Joe, John Anderson, my Joe. A wee bit happy, a wee bit cheery, and I'm sure everybody knows this. Charlie's my darling, and again, historically, it's a very, very old song, and I know that Burns, it's
not the Burns version we're doing, because that's a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Naughty for this audience, for some of the audience. So, and apparently there's 25 verses in it, which I'm probably not doing, but anyway. So this is again the poor Eddie Reader seems to be the way version. This is the Eddie Reader version, but this version is the Eddie Reader version, but apparently there are many versions, Peggy Seeger, and apparently written by James Hogg, the author and poet, Scottish poet from years and years ago. So this it just seems to be one of those songs and those tunes that over the years has developed and different people have, I suppose, sung it or whatever, sung it or said it. So if you know, this is very vibrato, if you know it, please join in, clap along, keep yourselves laughing. Okay. Okay. Here we go. 'Twas on a Monday morning, right early in the year, that Charlie came to and drowned the young Chevalier. This is your chance now. Oh, Charlie is my darling, my darling, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young Chevalier. As he was walking down the street, the city back to view, oh, there he spied a bonny lass at the country was through. Oh, Charlie is my darling, my darling, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young Chevalier. So Letty slipped up off the stairs and twirled at the pen, and who's so ready but herself to let the laddie in? Oh, Charlie is my darling, my darling, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young Chevalier. He set his Jenny on his knee, all in his Highland dress, for brawly well he kenned the way to please a Highland lass. Oh, Charlie is my darling, my darling, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young Chevalier. It's up yon heathery mountain and down your scroggy glen, we daren't go a milking for Charlie and all his men. Oh, Charlie is my darling, my darling, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young Chevalier. Charlie is my darling, my darling, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young Chevalier. Charlie is my darling, my darling, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young Chevalier. Charlie is my darling, my darling, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young Chevalier. We're going to do this last one, which is very dear. Carol and I used to sang in several choirs. I know you don't believe that, but it's true. We've sang in several choirs over the year, and one of the first choirs we sang was the Eurydice Women's Socialist Choir, and this is one of the first songs we ever sang together. And through the years, it's just, you know, every time we sing it comes up. So again, it's a marching song, so if you feel like stamping your feet or clap your hands, please do. Okay. And this is called Freedom Come All Ye by Hamish Henderson, and I am going to say Margaret Bennett because I know Margaret Bennett, and Margaret Bennett told me that she wrote it with Hamish Henderson, so I'm going to acknowledge that. Okay. Rock the wind and the clear day's dawning, lots of clues, he'll stir gaudy o'er the bay. But there's not a rock wind blowing through the great glen of the world today. It's a thought that will gather rotten all the rogues that can gallus fresh and gay. Tag the road and seek other loans for their ill ploys to sport and play. Nay, there will the bonny cannons match to war when the braggarts cursedly craw. Nor we lazy petite and clack
mourn the ships sailing down the blue billow. Broken families in lands we've heard, welcome Scotland, the bravely merry mere. Black and white, young to other merit, makes the vile battle of the maesters there. So come boy, attain with freedom, never heed what the hoodies croak for doom. In your house, all the bairns o' Adam will find me Ballybee and painted room. When MacLean meets with springs and Springburn, all the roses and keens will turn to bloom. And the black man beyond Niagara dings a fell of gallows o'er the burgers doom.
Thank you very much for that. That's best we can relax here.
Far too willing to believe in things that seem too good to be true. Like when he promised me forever and a day, every second Tuesday. And now you're here in my bed, night after night after night after night after night after night. Night after night after night after night after night after night. There's a cynical circus in my mind. It's asking you to prove that you'll still be here in the morning. I'm not asking for forever. When I can be yours right now. No, I'm not asking for forever. When I can be yours right now. Finding comfort in the everyday mundane, or right home about. I fit myself into your jigsaw. I'm not asking for the whole picture, but you're still here in my bed, night after night after night after night after night after night. Night after night after night after night after night after night. There's a cynical circus in my mind. It's asking you to prove that you'll still be here in the morning. I'm not
Visitors were absolutely fantastic. So, our special guest has been outside, he's faced a few more trees, and now he's going to join us back on the stage, Mr. Robert Burns.
Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you so much. I've had such a wonderful evening here celebrating my 267th birthday, and I'm looking not bad for it. And of course, an important aspect of Burns Night celebrations isn't that we're just celebrating me as Robert Burns, but we're also, of course, celebrating Scottish artists and artistry. and that's an important aspect that travels right the way. It's an important theme through all of my work. One of the richest men who ever lived, he lived about a century after I did, a Scotsman. His name was Andrew Carnegie, and he founded libraries all over the world. He left a great and rich legacy, and one of the single stipulations that every one of his libraries has, anywhere in the world that it is it has to have a bust of me there, Robert Burns, and that is the esteem in which I was held by Scots then and Scots now. And there was a quote I was very fond of quoting in my lifetime. It was by Andrew Fletcher of Saltoun, and it kind of time of the Act of the Union, he was one of the most ardent Scots voices against union, and he actually has a famous quote he left to us where he said, "When you write the ballads of a country, who cares who writes the laws?" And about that important theme of, in many ways, a country sees itself reflected in its art. And then the poem that I'm about to give you now is considered probably my magnum opus. If you know any work of Burns at all, of me, you'll know Tam O'Shanter. And it begins lustily. When Chatham billies leave the street, and drouthy neighbours meet, as market days are wearing late, and folk begin to tack the gate, while we sit boozing at the nappy, getting fou and unca happy. We think the lang scoot smiles, the mosses water slaps and styles that lie between us and our hame, where sits our sulky sullen dame, gathering our brows like gathering storms, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. This truth and honest Tam O'Shanter, is he for e'er a night did canter, old there when there are tunes passes, for honest men and bonny lassies. Tam, a douse but been sae wise, as ta'en thine ain wife Kate's advice, she told thee weel thou was a skellum, a blethering, blustering, drunken blellum, that frae November till October, a market day thou wasna sober, that ilka meddler with the miller, thou sat as lang as thou had siller, that every nag was caught a shoe on, the smith and thee got roaring foo on, that at the Lord's house, even on Sunday, thou drank with Kirktown Jean till Monday. She prophesied that later soon thou would be found drowned in Doon, or catched the warlocks in the muck, by Alloway's old haunted kirk. Gentle dams, it gars me greet to think how mony coon so sweet, how mony lengthened saged advices the husband frae the wife despises. But to our tale, a market night, Tam had got planted unca right, fast by an ingle bleezing finely, with reeman swats that drank divinely, and by his elbow Suitor Johnny, his ancient trusty driffy crony. Tam looed him like a very brother. They'd been fou for weeks together. The night drave on with sangs and clatter, and aye the ale was growing better. The landlady and Tam grew gracious, with favour secret, sweet and precious. The suitor told his queerest stories. The landlord's laugh was ready chorus. The storm of it might rear and rustle. Tam didn't mind a storm of whistle. Kia, mad to see a man sae happy. He'en drowned himself among the nappy. His bees flew hame with lades of pleasure. The minutes winged their way with pleasure. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious, o'er all the ills of life victorious. But pleasures are like poppies spread. You seize the flower, its bloom is shed. Or like the snow fuzz in the river, a moment white, then melts forever. Or like the borealis race, that flit afore you can point their place. Or like the rainbow's lovely form, vanishing amid the storm. Nae man can tether time nor tide. The hour approaches, Tam mun ride. That hour, o' night's black birch the key stain, that dreary hour he mounts his beast in, and sick a road he tacks the night in, as ne'er poor sinner was abroad in. The wind blows for blown its last, the rattling shower rose on the blast, the speedy gleams the darkness swallowed, loud deep and lang the thunder bellowed. That night a child might understand, the deal had business on his hand. Wheel mounted on his grey mare Meg, a better never lifted leg, Tam skill put on through dub and mire, despising wind and rain and fire, whilst holding fast his good blue bonnet, whilst crooning o'er some old Scots sonnet, whilst glowering round with prudent cares, these boggles catch him unawares. By this time he was crossed the ford, where in the snow the chapman smored, and past the bucks in meikle stane, where drunken Charlie's brack-neck Spain, and through the winds and by the cairn, where hunters found the murdered bairn, and near the forn upon the well, where Mungo's mother hanged hersel. Before him down pours all his floods, the doubling storm roars through the woods, the lightning flash from pole to pole, near and more near the thunder's roll, when glimmering through the groaning trees, Kirkalloway seemed in a bleeze. Through ilka bore the beams were glancing, in loud resounding mirth dancing. Inspiring, bold John Barleycorn, what danger thou canst make us scorn? With tip and we'll fear nae evil. Whisker bay, we'll face the devil. The swats he reined in Tammy's noddle, fair play he gardener deals a boddle. But Maggie stood right sair astonished, till by the heel and hand admonished, she ventured forward on the light, and Val, Tam saw an unca sight. Warlocks and witches in a dance, nae cotillion bret new fae France, but hornpipes, jigs, strathspeys and reels, put life and metal in their heels. A winnock bunker in the east, there sat old Nick, in shape a beast, a towsy tyke, black grim and large, to gie them music was his charge. He screwed the pipes and gat them skirl, till roof and rafters all did dirl. Coffins stood round like open presses, that shawed the dead in their last dresses, and by some devilish cantrip slight, each in their cold hand held a light, by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the haly table a murderer's veins and gibbet airns, twas bang lang wi' unchristened bairns, a thief new cutted frae a rape, with his last gasp his gab did gape. 5 tomahawks with blood red rusted, 5 scimitars with murder crusted, a garter that a babe had strangled, a knife a father's throat had mangled, whom his ain son of life bereft, his grey hairs yet stacked to the heft. 3 lawyers' tongues turned inside out, where lies seemed like a beggar's clout. 3 priests' hearts rotten black as muck, lay stinking vile in every nyuck. As Tammy glowered, amazed and curious, the mirth and fun grew fast and furious. The pipers loud and louder blew, the dancers quick and quicker flew. They reeled, they set, they crossed, they cleek it, till ilka carl and swat and reek it, and cast their diddies to the lark, and linket it in a sack. Now Tam, oh Tam, had they been queens, all plump and strapping in their teens, their sacks instead of creasy flinnin, being snow white 1700 linen. The breeks of mine my only pair, the ains were plush a good blue hair. I'd gi'en him off hurdies, for a blinky bonny birdies. But withered beldums, old and droll, rig woody hags would spen a foal, louping and flinging in a crummock. I wondered did he turn thy stomach. But Tam ken what was what fae brawly. There was a winsome wench in Whalley, that night enlisted in the corps, lang after kenned in Carrick shore. For mony a beast to dead she shot, and perished mony a bonny boat, and shook beef meikle corn and bear, and kept the countryside in fear. Her cutty sark a paisley harn, that while a lassie she had worn, and long to jud though sorely scanty, it was her best and she was vaunty. Ah, little kenned thy reverend granny, that sark she coughed for her wee nanny. With twapping Scots, 'twas all her riches, would ever grace the dance of witches. But hear my muse, her wing Moncure, sick flights afar beyond her poor, to sing how Nanny lap and flang, a supple jade she was and strang, and how Tam stood like een bewitched, and fought as very enriched. Even Satan glowered and fidged fu fain, and hotched and blew with might and main, till first they caper sin another, Tam tint his reason altogether, and roars out, "Well done, Cutty Sack!" And in an instant, all was dark, and scarcely had he Maggie rallied, when out the hellish legion sallied, as bees buzz out with angry fyke, when plundering herds assail their bike, as open pusses mortal foes, when pop she starts before their nose, as eager runs the market crowd, when "Catch the thief!" resounds aloud. So Maggie runs, the witches follow, with mony an eldritch screech and hollow. Ah Tam, they'll get thy faring, and hell will roast thee like a herring. In vain thy Kate awaits thy coming, Kate soon will be a waffle woman. Now do thy utmost speedy, Meg, and win the keystone of the brig. There it then now thy tail may toss, a running stream they darena cross. But ere the keystone she could make, the fint of tail she had to shake. For Nanny, far before the rest, hard upon noble Maggie pressed, and flew at Tam with furious ettle, but little was she Maggie's mettle. A spring brought off her master hail, but left behind her ain grey tail. The carlin caught her by the rump, and left poor Maggie scarce a stump. Now, while this tale of truth shall read, ilka man and mother's son take heed, when ere to drink you are inclined, or cutty sarks run in your mind. Think, ye may buy the joys, O dear, remember, tam a shanter's mair.